What is going on, everyone? It's your favorite everything, JR Wisdom, once again with my co-host QT Dub with another episode of the morning show with JR Wisdom and QT Dub. Shout out to everybody. What's going on this morning? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. QT Dub, I see you doing a mic check, my brother. How you doing this morning?
Not too shabby, not too shabby. Shoot, drying out after a monsoon yesterday evening into last night, but clearing out, looking all right today. How goes it in the low country?
Oh man, it's beautiful today, man. It is beautiful out here, bro. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain. It's gonna be a great weekend. It's Father's Day weekend, as you know. Celebrate all the pappies. You know what I mean?
Oh, that baby pappy.
You didn't look like you was too happy when I said that. Like you had made a face when I said about Father's Day.
It wasn't about the Father's Day. It was that, of course, as soon as we decided to go live, my damn dog want to start being annoying. So
yeah,
that was the reason for the facial cues.
No, I got you. Yeah, once they got a sense of everything, you know what's going on. But we got a good show. It's gonna be a quick show this morning, but we definitely got a goodie. We got a lot of ground to cover. There's some events that's been happening this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some major events for sure, and we got some funny stuff, and you know, things are starting to heat up here in the United States of America.
It's summertime.
Summertime.
Summertime. It's time for it.
That's right. That's right, guys. But before we do that, housekeeping rules as usual, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got the independent male here, so make sure you guys follow him as well. You know what I mean? Like I said, hit the like button. If you guys want to share your thoughts on anything or, you know, got some input, feel free to call in. This is a call-in show, or so you would like to think it is, or I would like to think it is. The link is pinned in the chat. Shout out to all 8 of you watching right now. You know, we appreciate you in advance. So without further ado, we're gonna hop into this, man. So first QT Dub, man, did you hear about this Air India flight? Was it yesterday?
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about it. I hadn't seen I hadn't follow up to see if there's any like details as far as the calls and all of that good stuff, but I do believe it was a flight going from India to London, I believe.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, it went down shortly after takeoff. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Other than that, I don't know any specifics of causes, but what I do know is that it was a Boeing aircraft, which it triggered my attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, back in, when was it? Back in March 2025, President Trump, right? Gave them a $20 billion contract to produce F-14s, right? That's replacing F-22s that, F-14s, F-47s, which are replacing F-22 Raptors that Lockheed was making. I thought this was interesting at the time that they got this contract because in Trump's first term, remember, he got in 2016, roughly after that, like 2017 to 2018, Boeing was grounded for an entire year. I don't know if y'all remember this. It wasn't that long ago. They unveiled a new plane, the 787 MAX, and it had some kind of a new cutting edge navigational thing that was supposed to help with ascension and leveling off or whatever, but it was malfunctioning. It was actually making planes nosedive, and the pilots couldn't even damn correct it. And remember, like 2 international planes, Boeing planes, went down, and they had to ground the entire fleet. And I don't know if you guys remember, because this was right before the pandemic, we ended up, and I say we, taxpayers had to bail out Boeing because of their faulty release of that Air Max plane and having been grounded for a freaking year. And some people had nothing but Boeings, like Southwest or something like that. So they took a big hit. We bailed them out. Then they get awarded this big contract, and they're still crashing. Earlier this year, they had an entire door suck off a plane. So my thing is, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is we have these multi-frontal attacks on things, right? DEI being one of them. And we're always saying that we're looking for the best. right? This isn't a racist thing. We're not being discriminatory. We're just trying to make sure we get the best, most qualified people and stuff for the job. Boeing doesn't look like they're qualified to make paper airplanes. But yet they keep getting contract after contract. And where they are today on the freaking news again, not able to keep a plane in the sky. I also don't know if you knew this, but Boeing was responsible for the astronauts that were stuck in space for like 3 months. Boeing.
Wow.
Why does Boeing keep getting our tax dollars? Are they exceptional?
That's a great question, man. That is a great question.
And I know you didn't bring this up for me to go off on, but you know, this is what happens with me on some of these topics. But it's just interesting that Boeing fails over and over and over again, and they keep sucking out our. And the reason I bring this up is, where's the most of our budget go to that we're talking about deficits?
Defense,
military spending.
Yes.
Yes. And what do you and I talk about? That dollar doesn't touch the soldier,
right,
and their families. That dollar always goes to the freaking contractors.
Yeah.
And this contractor isn't even any good. Every time you turn around, they're killing somebody. Let's pay them though.
Yeah. Speaking of that, man, I was watching because I had like I said, I was telling you offline that I was getting my televisions mounted up in here, and I turned the TV on. Had the news on, and they had this guy who I guess quote unquote is a whistleblower. And he said before that Air India flight, which for you guys to fill you guys in who don't know, this was Air India flight, as you said. It took off, and I don't want to show. I would show it, but they might hit me with something on here.
Yeah, as far as the crashes.
Yeah, and all the the mayhem that ensued is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner that crashed. There was 242 people on board. It took off from Ahmedabad in India, heading towards London, right?
Yep.
And there was one survivor. Wildly enough, which I know when this official interview comes out, that's going to be a crazy one. I see one here. Let me play this real quick.
One survivor, bro. I didn't see. That's what I'm saying. That's the type details I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, there's one survivor. I'm gonna go ahead and share the clip here, so that we can, because they're actually interviewing him at the hospital bed. Yeah, he walked away. You know what I'm saying? From there. So the crash. So let's share this.
What up, Kind Honey? What up, Tootie?
Yeah, what's happening? What's happening? Kind Honey, Tootie, Simon. Share screen.
It's broken. My thing happened in my eye.
Injuries, and talking to a local broadcaster this morning.
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. Emergency door is broken. My seat is broken.
Did the aircraft catch fire before you came?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. After me, I'm out. Then blast. I'm not jumping.
Okay.
I just walk out. It's medical, everything.
For investigators, the plane's flight data recorder will be crucial. Boeing 787 Dreamliners have an advanced set of sensors that transmit a constant stream of data from the plane to a central hub. Experts point to video that shows the landing gear still down when it should have been retracted. And the wing flaps needed for lift at takeoff did not appear to be fully extended.
These sophisticated airplanes have what they call configuration warning horns, which really let the crew know that they're not properly configured whenever they add power for takeoff. So the flap issue is a mystery to me.
Yeah, mystery for a lot of people. That's why they want to get hold of those black boxes. And by the way, because the plane was U.S. manufactured, Boeing, the FAA, and the NTSB will have a role in this investigation, along with a UK team, since the plane was headed to London. But Indian authorities will lead the investigation, the U.S. offering any and all assistance. Craig?
Tragic story.
So this is, let me play it right here, where he actually
That passenger, Vishwas Ramesh, a British national who was seated in 11A, an exit row window seat, who somehow managed to walk away from the disaster, later taken to a hospital with minor injuries and talking to a local broadcaster this morning.
I can't explain. Everything happened in my eye. Emergency door is broken. My seat is broken.
Did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. After me, I'm out. Then blast. I'm not jumping.
Okay.
I just walk out. Innit? It's miracle, everything.
For
Okay. So I was watching a guy, he was talking about it because obviously this has been all over the news, right? And he was saying that he literally saw, I don't know his name, I just saw it briefly. I guess he was part of the crew or maybe overseeing some guys. It's so strange how there's only like 13 people right now on here. But anyway, don't leave that alone. He said he saw people stomping on top of the wings to try and get it to fit in place.
Oh,
he was like, they were literally like sticking it, taping it together, for lack of a better term, and pumping on it to get it to stay in place where the wings were at. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So,
where's that dude?
And he was like, I don't care what they say. He was like, you can call me a whistleblower, but he was testifying or whatever, not testifying, but it was a PSA or whatever. And he was saying that, could probably pull it up here, where Buddy was talking about this, but that was something he was saying. Let me see here.
What up, Willie Jack? Ashley, how y'all doing this morning?
Air India whistleblower.
Jacko, what's up with you?
Boeing 787 Dreamliner jet and air crash was subject of conspiracy theories. You know, a year before Ahmedabad plane crash, whistleblower Boeing 787 Dreamliner flaw claim. Okay. He later told the U.S. Senate. Hold on, let me see. Is this the video? I think that's something else. I'm trying to find the video here before I share it. If there's him talking. Guess not, but either way, he said attorneys for the whistleblower said rather than heeding his warnings, Boeing prioritized getting the planes to market as quickly as possible. Air India flight AI 171 240 crashed shortly after takeoff, and one of the worst aviation disasters in history. The plane was a Boeing 787, despite being marketed as one of the safest and most advanced, had linked to several technical faults. In fact, the crash has put the spotlight on claims by a Boeing engineer. Okay, there was an engineer last year who said that the 787 Dreamliner suffers from assembly defects that threaten safety. Whistleblower Sam Salapur, who worked at Boeing for nearly 2 decades, accused the company of putting profit over safety and retaliated against him after he raised concerns by involuntarily transferring him to the 777 program. So I wish I could find the video, man, but for time's sake, you know,
and that sounds like you said that was a testimony that he testified before somebody regarding that, maybe a hearing committee or something. Right.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? But you know, rest in peace for those folks that lost their lives. I heard a lot of different stories. You had families on board that were leaving India and starting a new life, you know what I mean, in the UK. So you know, all types of stuff, man. And they snapped a selfie. I think one of them snapped a selfie like right before takeoff. You know, so all kind of stuff, man. But that's a lot of people. There's a show, bro. Before I get on to the next one, I watched this show because Little Duval, I saw he posted it one time. It's on Peacock, I believe. If you guys want to watch it, I think they have like 5 seasons. I think it's called Air Disasters, right? And it basically like tracks all the like plane crashes that have happened. They go into the forensics and the investigation and box and all that stuff, and they reenact it, you know, how the stuff happened. And it's some crazy stuff like on a lot of these things, man. It's like, wow, bro, like the amount of plane crashes that happen and what what it entailed. You know, about aircraft and shit, stuff like that.
And I can see how interesting that is, because usually for most of us, the story is kind of over after it's not in the news anymore. So like you're getting to see a whole lot more investigative information that happens after we're done, quote unquote, we're done with the story. So I'm sure that probably is pretty interesting.
Yeah, just like a first 48, you know, when somebody gets shot, you don't know the whole details about it till after, you know, in the specifics. But yeah, man, moving on.
Shout out to Bowen. Raking it in.
Yeah. This Demarcus Cousins, man. I'm gonna just jump into that, bro.
Yeah, man, because like I said, I read it. I didn't know that there was a video about it.
You know, it's wild. So,
yeah, I gotta see that.
Just saying.
Cousins.
Yeah.
Boogie Cousins.
Let's pull that up here, bro. We'll go ahead and, because you know he was a wild boy when he was in NBA.
Yeah, when he was playing. Yeah.
He was playing. But you know, we gonna run this up real quick. Share. This is crazy, man. These dudes, I guess they can't take the heckler sometimes. Sometimes these guys be out of pocket too, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably a combination of both things, because you know the folks in the crowd, they drunk half the time.
So bro is he actually got terminated. It says suspended here, but he got terminated. Fine. He plays for this team in Puerto Rico. I guess Puerto Rico has their own league.
Okay.
So which I didn't know, but you know, here we go right here.
All right.
Video. There's no audio.
Oh my God. Yo.
He like, I don't make enough for this anyway. They
no, not here. I don't.
Yeah.
Yo.
So here you go. They doing the sticking his middle finger.
Yo, get these huevos.
Yeah. Stuck on them.
Yeah, these huevos, these frijoles.
Yeah. That's a wild boy right there, man.
Yo. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I ran that enough, man. But
yeah, but I think your initial statement probably hit it right on the head.
What's that?
He like, I'm not getting enough here to
I'm not getting enough.
Like he like whatever you said in the States, I might have taken it.
Yeah.
He like, here, bro.
I'm only getting like 10,000 a game.
You can get these huevos.
Yeah. You know, and I think the big three is paying something like that. I think it's like, yeah. I think
and you said Cube extended him an invite.
Yeah,
this, right?
He tweeted it. He was like, "Yo, you got a place. Come home and get your flowers here with the big three."
Shout out. See, okay. I'm not gonna be long-winded, but just very quickly. That's what I'm talking about. So you know how like a lot of times our sports figures complain about things not being fair and not liking this and that and blah 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 blah. That's what happens when you establish something.
If you resist lawful orders.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So he's suspended in Puerto Rico, but because Cube has established something, he's able to be like, look, my brother, come on in. I got a spot for you because I've created something.
Right.
A rapper.
Exactly.
Turned filmmaker. I think no basketball sports background at all, man. You know, my point is old, former, retired NBA players could have done this a long time ago and probably on a bigger scale. But, you know, it takes so much fortitude and discipline and risk that we don't want to take in order to do it. It's just every time I see Cube do something like that and it's successful, as they say, it warms my heart.
Right. For sure.
It's impressive. More of us need to be able to have opportunities to be able to be like, okay, we don't like what happened to one of our own, being able to be like, yo, my man, come to the fold in. We got you.
Right.
But when we don't set up things, we're not able to do that. Like a lot of us don't like okay, you're 40 years old, right? Sorry to put that out there. I'm 50.
I'm 42, but yeah.
42. I'm 50, right?
Right.
I still like 808s. I still like scratching, right? But what I don't like is 24-hour trap music. So my point is that we say with this whole chicken and egg argument that, oh, well, we hip hop and our state of entertainment is like that because that's what the Sonys and the Columbias and the people, that's what the man wants to put out. We done had 3-4 freaking decades where why are we still dealing with what the man wants to put out?
Mm-hmm.
The most any of these guys do is go get distribution deals. Why have we not been like a straight up major production house at this point to where we can make decisions of what we want to put out, to where your Andre 3000s and your Most Defs and your Commons don't have to be pushed to the side or pushed to retirement because everybody only wants to hear prison tracks.
Yeah.
But because we don't control anything, we're all subject to prison tracks unless we want to go pull out our old, our favorite 1990s playlists. But nothing new and contemporary because it won't get played. This guy didn't get shot enough times for me to listen to him. He didn't. I mean, seriously, I respect 50 Cent as a businessman, Vitamin Water and all the other stuff. But is he an all-time great lyricist?
Nah.
I dare challenge 50 Cent came out because he got shot as many times as Tupac and didn't die.
That was definitely part of his marketing.
Now, you did. But, so anyway, I'm going to get off of that. But my thing is we need to be in control of more of our industry.
That's the ones with the talent. Yeah, for sure. If the ones with the talent aren't the ones running shit, that's crazy, man. You know what I mean? And it always will be, But the big three, like I said, I think they average each player, or I guess on the high end is basically around 10 grand.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's 8 teams right now. I just put it up. There's 8 teams. They're going to try to expand to 12. They're pretty much in all the major cities: Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, the DMV, Houston, LA, and Miami. Yeah, so he's got the big cities covered.
No, they not.
You said, "Oh, Atlanta."
Fuck our team at.
I know, right? It's coming. He gonna get 4 more. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm just messing. And shout out to Ashley Ill with the birthday coming up tomorrow. And Brian getting close to that 4-0. You got long left, buddy.
Yeah. Nah, shout out though. But yeah, I agree with everything you said, bro. It could be a lot more. The more money's gonna come, the more people tune in. And it gives folks who love basketball a second chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
But
I hope that he and his league, Big Three and Cube, I really wish and hope that one day they get big enough to actually have a draft pick. Decide to forego the NBA and go play in that league. That's what I hope he gets big enough to be able to have that happen. Yeah. I know what you're doing too. I'm like, you can just go on to stay out of that, whoever that is, and just keep spam commenting.
Yeah, I was about to.
I knew you was. I saw your eyes.
Yeah, I was about to go ahead because I think this is the same person that's been
I know what you're doing.
Good. I think they still been like commenting on, because I've been seeing somebody with some foolishness like this commenting on my videos. I'll probably leave him in here just to help out with these 15 people.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I'm like, if he got the engagement going, then just let him keep typing to himself.
Yeah. So in other news, man, speaking of the NBA and basketball and whatnot, we got game 4 tonight.
Yep.
At 8:30. Obviously the Pacers is up, 2-1.
2-1. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens tonight. You know what I mean?
You know what I meant to see? Yeah, and why you speaking on those guys? I'm looking to see how the ratings are going with that.
Okay.
Yep. So of course, and I'm like, according to AI, because AI knows everything, but this is the AI answer. I asked, how's the viewership for the NBA Finals? Is it up or is it down? And it says yes. NBA Finals viewership has been down significantly this year. Significantly this year. And it says, and now It even gives a detailed breakdown of the first 2 games of NBA Finals. Okay. Last year's first 2 games, and I'm trying to remember who was in the finals last year. Boston and somebody, whoever Boston beat. Anyway, first 2 games, 12.3 million views. Okay. First 2 games this season against the Thunder and the Pacers, 8.8. Remember, we asked this when they first won their respective conference championships, if the NBA was going to be happy with this matchup or not.
Right.
Because remember, particularly Indiana knocked off New York, big city market. People like New York, regardless of, love. They either love to love them or love to hate them, regardless of where they are. They're a draw, like Dallas Cowboys. They're down 4 million viewers, regardless of how much they're hyping up how great SGA is. Halliburton's a great, maybe sneak in superstar or whatever. Looks like nobody cares, or at least not to the extent that they have been previously. I'm like, down from 12 million to 8. That's a significant drop off in viewership for the same quote unquote same game. NBA Finals. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well,
yeah.
Let's see what happens tonight, bro. But
I do think though, it leads to, how sometimes people think that there's a lot of conspiracy in sports as far as look at there. I couldn't even get it out before the comment went, all leagues are rigged. So it makes you wonder though. It's like, when these small market teams get in, these leagues don't make as much money as they normally would. And that's just the bottom line. So it's like, when you start seeing too many of the New Yorks and the LAs get in too many times, I can see why people have those conspiracy theories, because the numbers kind of don't lie. No matter how good the basketball is, people want to see the superstars in the major cities and the major teams. All leagues are rigged. Hell yeah.
Said only the what?
No, I was just laughing because it's like all leagues are rigged.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, man. I mean, you got to think the longer it goes,
that's another thing. Yeah,
generated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something else to think about altogether, man. Because I mean, what's the benefit of cutting it short as opposed to taking it all the way to Game 7?
Yeah, true.
So, man, I don't. Who you think taking it though?
I still think it's probably Indy, but could get surprised. But really? I just think I do. I know. I mean, SGA is sick, but I just feel like Indiana had Halliburton and Siakam and their supporting cast and their bench. I just feel like over the course of this series, it's probably going to be too much for OKC to overcome. I mean, case in point, if they don't make this a 2-2 series tonight, they're definitely cooked.
You said you think they're cooked?
Yeah. Okay. If OKC doesn't tie it up and make it even tonight, they cooked. I don't see them digging out of a 3-1 deficit. Especially not heavily dependent on one player like that. I don't even know who who SGA's quote unquote Batman is. I mean, who his Robin is.
Me either.
That's what I'm saying. So it sounds like to me, like, this one dude is gonna have to try to bring it home for him. So
right. Man, I think it's gonna be OKC, man.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be that would be something like nobody really see coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's just my thoughts. It's something that they wouldn't see coming.
Yeah.
Sheesh. But we're gonna move on to this thing that I was telling you about offline. This Florida, them boys in Florida is wild, man. Since we always be addressing these protests and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and play this clip, man. I'll get your thoughts on it, man. I know you haven't seen it yet, but this is let me
see it.
what does it remind? Like, what does it remind you of? So let's go ahead and run it.
All right.
Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here.
So, what's your thoughts on that, man? About what good buddy's saying?
Nothing. I don't have any thoughts. It's the law.
How about his delivery?
Remember, we're not supposed to be concerned about the delivery and the tone. You know, it's just about the message, and he is delivering the message of the law.
Damn, man, bit by the big beautiful dogs.
Yeah, drug down the street and all of that. Now, of course, you know, I'm being a little sarcastic, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's got to be balance. Seriously, I'm being serious. You got to have balance between citizens voicing their opinions and quote unquote the rule of law. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is where it becomes sticky. A couple of places where it becomes sticky. And I know they are tired of hearing this, but this posture, this sentiment that we just heard, January 6, 2020, where was it?
Great question.
January 6, 2020, where was it about the laws, about getting drugs somewhere, about if you do this, that, and the other, this would happen? Where was that? Where was it? It was, I'll tell you where it was. It didn't exist.
Definitely did.
It didn't exist, but it's on high display now. That's fine. Here's another thing. Point number 2. The right to protest is supposed to be an American civic right.
Mm-hmm.
Although a lot of people now, because it's the cool thing to do, they like to paint all protest as Marxism, meaning that you have to find something wrong with the government so you can go rail against it.
Mm-hmm.
You forget that the freaking country was founded on protest. What are you talking about? Christmas addicts.
Christmas addicts. What?
Boston Tea Party, the original biggest protest in our history.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it was protest just science. No, we dumped their shit in the fucking water.
Yeah.
There was vandalism. So my thing is, how do we even this out? True civic right to protest versus being a law and order society.
Mm-hmm.
And also understanding too that sometimes law can be fallible. At one point, it was law that I was 3/5 of a man. It was law. right?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta respect the law. So I'm like, this is a nuanced argument. It's not going anywhere. And I don't think there's any ultimate winners when all of the smoke clears out of all of this. The people that think they're going to win when this is over with, a lot of them aren't. If you're in a trailer before immigration, you're probably going to be in one after it's over with. If you're waiting on a coal mining job to come back before the immigrants get kicked out, you're probably still going to be waiting on it after they leave. So once you get what you want, we'll see what that return is on this investment. Because when I say on this investment, nobody's also paying attention to how much it's costing to mobilize all these National Guard units, giving out, as we covered in the last video, these $10,000 bonuses to these ICE agents, some of which are former convicted felons, and the other protests that we don't care about law and order with anymore. What's our return on this? When we're trying to be these deficit hawks and slash so much waste, what's our return on this? What's our return on the big military birthday parade celebration for Senor Trump that wants to look like every other dictator with tanks tearing up our street? We don't do that here. We're about to now. Where's our return on that? Is it peace? It's peace. The return will be peace.
Oh, we got someone on the pitch. Okay. Go ahead.
Maybe. I mean, because right now we're in an uproar, but were we in an uproar 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, the return could be peace off now.
So do you feel like protests should be peaceful?
Yeah.
Or is there like there a time for anarchy?
No. When there's rule for anarchy is when the government itself is just ridiculously overtly corrupt, and that's definitely not something that we have going on here. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Here is as much as there was always kind of like this battle, you know, within our community of who had the correct approach, whether it was Malcolm or Dr. King.
Right.
The thing is, if you don't maintain peace in your protests, your mission gets co-opted and what you're trying to accomplish gets diluted. So point in case, George Floyd, as soon as people start looting businesses and burning businesses, all of the attention got off of what the officers did, what the injustice was. The people that didn't want to care about that, they didn't. They zoned straight to the looting, straight to burning buildings. And some of us did the same thing with January 6ers. Every January 6th protester didn't run inside the Capitol. Every one of them didn't stab Capitol office members with flagpoles. Every one of them didn't pee and defecate all over. Every one of them didn't do that. But when I talk about it, that's who I'm thinking about, the ones that did. Why? Because they did that and they co-opted what the whole group really was trying to do. So to answer your question, as soon as one person goes overboard, you kind of mess up your whole protest. And that's what, and that's not even counting people that have nothing to do with your protest at all. They just want to agitate the situation. All I want to do is steal shit. I don't care about them. I don't care about those guys over there. All I see is a chaotic opportunity to go do some stuff. And then that messes up whatever it is that you're protesting about. And so like you said, Monday, after we had already talked about the immigration protest or whatever, and I was just, highlighting a lot of the inconsistencies between January 6th and now, whatever, showing a little bit of sympathy for the immigrants. You sent me a video when it was like folks just pelting police cars with rocks. And I was like, what the f- y'all doing that for? Yeah. Now I'm up here like, get out of here. Just that quick, it changed my sentiment just based off what I was seeing. So, going back to your point, as soon as you do anything other than holding up your sign and letting your voice be heard, you mess up your whole movement. unless it can be proven that that you know the powers that be stepped over the line and they accosted you or whatever, whatnot, then you end up stepping over the line. But in this case, we've seen actual media reporters get shot with rubber bullets, get arrested for being Hispanic. A CNN guy got taken into custody. He a 20-year employee, but he's Hispanic. And they took him in for a while. Why? Just because you looked the part. You looked the part. And I just got let out. I just got out of jail. I got a badge and a vest now.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 10 grand in my pocket.
Damn. Now that's wild. Anyway, we're gonna move on, man. I know we got some more info on this. We was talking about with the what was it? 500,000? Was it 500,000? We're gonna get into that.
Who had 500,000?
I'm about to pull it up here. I think that's what it was. But before we do, got 9 people here watching on YouTube. Make sure all 9 of you.
I can't even mess with you anymore about it, to be honest. I'm like, we've been at this for a minute. Yeah, man.
We got all 9 of you in here. Make sure all 9 of you hit that like button. You know, make sure you hit it. I appreciate all 9 of you. You know, tuned in.
I tell you, man, I don't understand the tube at all. I swear I don't. I don't. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't understand it. I don't.
I'm just, you know.
I don't. The thing that cracked me up, though, and I will get out. It is like, you know, it's bad that now I'm about to join you in this shit. But I'm like, then you'll have somebody go live in a fucking car.
Yeah.
With 100 subscribers, and it have 100 people on the live stream.
Yep.
Shout out to YouTube and Google.
Yeah, appreciate you already. Yeah,
all of y'all.
I appreciate y'all. You know, everybody. You know,
shout out Guns Blaze.
Yeah, got somebody on Twitch. Interesting. Appreciate it. You know,
I do. I know that's what's up. You know, but you want to know what's interesting?
What's that?
I get notifications from Twitch that this live stream is going on. I'm gonna look at my phone now. I bet you I don't have one from YouTube.
Wow.
Sure don't. Look at this. Not a damn YouTube. I know you can't really see it, but I don't have. I mean, I'm on here. Why have I not been notified that JR Wisdom went live? You see this, YouTube? You're full of shit.
Yeah,
I'm subscribed to this dude on 4 channels.
Something I can do on my end, you know, but yeah. So I got a little post here. Let me go ahead and share it back on here, man. So here today, going tomorrow. Department of Homeland Security hits 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela with exit orders. Says a major immigration shakeup just hit, and CNN got the scoop. The Department of Homeland Security has officially told more than 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela that their legal right to stay and not work in the U.S. is over. These folks came through a Biden-era parole program launched in 2023, meant to offer a legal path for migrants to live in the U.S. if they passed background checks and had a sponsor. But now, under the Trump administration order backed by a green light from the Supreme Court, that program is being shut down fast. Emails went out Thursday to everyone enrolled in the program. The message: their parole has been terminated. If they don't leave voluntarily, they could be detained or deported, and work permits linked to the program are now void. Trump's team says it's about restoring control to U.S. immigration policies, calling it a return to common sense.
Yeah.
He's still offering the same thing. Those willing to leave can get $1,000 in travel assistance. CBP program, CBP app. Which have you ever used that app? I don't know if it was the last time you left the country.
No, I hadn't used that.
So that CBP app, bro, I found out about that. I think when I was leaving, I don't know if it was DR or it was somewhere else. I think it was Egypt. I was leaving Egypt one time. And it was like, you don't need global entry. You just, because global entry, you obviously have to pay for, right?
Yeah.
CBP is the same. I'm gonna pull it up on my screen to show you guys here. The app here.
Shout out to Demetrius. Shout out to Dave. How y'all doing this morning? We getting to him, David.
So I gotta update the app. So while it's updating here, mobile passport. That's it right there. I'm gonna pull it up here. Just so
What
you
up,
guys
Eminem?
who travel internationally,
Yeah.
instead of having to get global entry, you can. I mean, it's still cool if you got it, but if you don't have global entry, you can just get the CBP, which I don't know if it's the same thing. But this is Let me go back to my apps. It's called MPC, Mobile Passport Control.
Oh, okay.
Which is under CBP. I'm pretty sure. Skip next. Let's go. Okay. So yeah, you just go on there, man, and you hit that button that says new submission, and all you do is, whether you're going by airplane or cruise ship, if you're going by plane, you put what port, you select your port, all those different cities, and you go where you're landing, you put in your flight number, all that stuff. So when you land in the States, when you go on immigration or whatever, customs immigration, they have a line specifically for you.
Yeah, and you want to be in that damn line.
Yeah. So that way you can go, which is CBP is different. I'm sorry, but it's the same thing.
Similar.
Yeah, CBP, because it says on here on the app, CBP MPC. So that's just food for thought for you guys who traveling international. And it's free, doesn't cost you a thing, man. But yeah, man, my man, over 500,000.
Dog. And here's the thing. That's everybody has the right to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? As far as once it's your administration. But again, with the optics, you can't get upset when people want to call out, but what about the South Africans? So we're closed to people that have really are fleeing violence. Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, right? Actual fear of death in these places, right? Then we have the manufactured genocide of the white Afrikaners that we're flying over here and they're getting stipends. And this all comes after the initial term in which the question was asked, why do we have to have so many people from S-hole countries? Remember that? Well, I think it's fair to assume that Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela are probably considered S-hole countries. Why can't we have more people from Norway? Well, South Africa isn't Norway, but they have the same people there. And It's very ironic that those are the ones that are welcomed and the people really fleeing something are not, which is fine. Because I preface this by saying that's your prerogative. The problem is they never say this stuff up front when you ask them about it. Right? When people posed these questions back in the summertime, when it became time to choose on who we wanted to vote for as a candidate, all of this stuff was made up. Project 2025 was made up. You people are snowflakes. You got victim mentalities. You got Trump derangement syndrome, right? Now all of this stuff is in our face, man. Where y'all at? All of y'all psychologists that determined that everybody that said anything about that guy had Trump derangement syndrome, where are you now? I need to sit on your couch. And I'm not a leftist, but I know what I see. So we see that the United States is closed for anybody with pigment, and it's open for business if you're not.
Right. This is true, my brother. Man. Well, QT
So my thing is like, I don't mind y'all. I'm like, y'all do what y'all want to. But I'm like, say it with your chest and be upfront. See, my thing is they obfuscated and they tricked a lot of people going into election time. And those of us that thought it looked like that tried to say something, and then we all got called names. We all got shamed. We got shaming language used on us. RP people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a victim mentality. That's shaming language. That's to keep you from saying anything about the topic. Well, let's go toe to toe about the topic and cut out with the shaming language.
Right.
Either this guy's better for the economy or he isn't. Don't miss me with the snowflake.
Right. Well, QT Dub, man, I'm about to wrap it up here, bro. Anything else you want to add? This is an interesting one, right?
No, man. All I want to add is shouts out to, like I say, man, I'm happy for all of y'all that stopped by, and shouts out to all of y'all pappies. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, this is a pound from the morning show to you guys, because I know how very little we get it. Now go get that pack of socks.
Exactly. Get that pack of socks. Facts. Well, you guys, you've been great. I was going to talk about Diddy, man, but we already there's enough of foolishness going on, man. We're about to get up out of here. Shout out to everybody, all you pappies out there that's taking care of your kids. If you're not,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You need to start doing that. And we're gonna catch you guys later, man. What happened?
No, I saw a comment from Demarcus said one of those Afrikaners has deleted his wife here in the States.
Wow. Sheesh.
MS-13. You know, as soon as one of them do something, we make sure they MS-13. I don't know what that guy was. He's like, "Hey, why you wait to get over here and delete your wife, man? You should have done that before you came, man."
Sheesh, but yeah, man.
Man, you get to the airport, bro. You got to get out of here.
Yeah, nah, we good. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings.
Thank y'all, man.
Stick around for the next videos. It's gonna pop up on the screen below, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in, set all notifications so that you can catch all our future shows here, man. With that being said, we're out of here. I'll be on the belt line skateboarding if anybody wants lessons. Wow. Okay.
Who said that?
Some dude. He just randomly said that. But yeah, man, I'm out of here.
All right, yo. Have a good one. All right, y'all. Appreciate you, Eminem, everybody. Peace.